All right. All right, folks. The fun thing about show prep is you start to see items in your show prep and you're like, wait a second, why did I add this item? Let's find out.
Let's find out.
It's so many men out here lying about being in relationships and living with women that one of the first things you need to be doing if you're talking to a dude is FaceTime him and make him show you his headboard in the room.
Okay, yeah, her beginning made me want to start because, like, I tend to go with where and how you're meeting people. At the bus stop is not a good place to find a life partner.
Yeah.
All right? The bar, the club, no. Typically, again, like the Supreme Court individual, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And the person she's with, like, those are two professional people in the same, class area, education area that met in professional settings through colleagues, right? Through groups that they're with. And it happened naturally. One thing I would never encourage is seeking a relationship, going out there looking for one. Where is it? Where fine. Is that a relationship? Ow, I'm injured. I don't know, that one bad. What about this one? Oh no, now I have unplanned offspring. All right, 18 years to focus on that. Then I'll get back. No. Chill. Take yourself out. I say these words a million times. Fall in love with yourself again. Go downtown, walk around, be with you, right? And then go to work. It's capitalism. You're going to have to do it, right? And followers going to be like, yo, fuck work, son. All right, fuck bills. See how that works. That's right. Go to work, to try to get the promotion here and there. And if you have an activity, right? Like when I lived in Washington State, activities were a regular thing, which may have had to do with the class privilege I experienced in my single-digit age years, right? Like Cub Scouts, there was always an activity. My biological sister was in Girl Scouts. There's an activity. I was in science club. There's activities. Adults on the weekends, right? Like the community center would have out a bus, and I guess all the adults pay whatever 90s money was. $10 may have been a lot of money then. Yeah. Everyone pays $10. We're going to the mountain and we're going on a hike. Get into activities. You'll meet people naturally there.
Yes.
Forcing it, I think, is bad. Like, physically or not, we met naturally, just melding into the same discussion areas, and then ended up interacting back and forth like, fuck, this is really interesting, you're really neat, I like you, let's get married and buy a house, you want a greenhouse in the backyard, that's pretty cool, let's feed stray cats irresponsibly, and we're having a great time. Like, I think that folks are not meeting in good areas. I
think that, and the one thing that I want to put a caveat on with, like, the whole, like, meeting someone at the bus stop or whatever, is why were you at the bus stop is the question, and why were they at the bus stop? Because there's a difference between we're both at this bus stop because we're both going to work in the same district versus I was at the bus stop because I was trying to go to work and he was at the bus stop because he was trying to go to a club. You know what I mean? Like, also like that, the intentionality of why people are where they are at the time is also, I think, very important. But no, I totally agree with the whole, like, do activities, find people there. In Chicago, one of the most popular and successful dating services, like matchmaking services, does events. They don't do independent matchmaking. They don't, like, be like, this guy and this girl go on a date. No, they have events like we're going rock climbing. Anyone into rock climbing, show up. We're doing a wine tasting. Anyone into wine tasting, show up. We're going to a museum. We're going fishing. We're going skiing. And so, like, you're already finding someone who already has activities that you enjoy. And then you can start, talking about personalities and interests and other hobbies, political ideology, all those sort of things. But yeah, this whole, like, I'm just out looking for someone is really not the way to go, because you're so focused on finding someone that you aren't always looking at creating a foundation to make sure that it's the right someone.
I don't have a metric or a count to put to it, but test a man's kind of balance between genuine intellect and constantly fucking joking, right? Like, how long can he go just talking about something before he has to make a fart joke. You know, and when I say fart joke generically for like all manners of sort of distraction jokes. There we
Right.
go. Distraction jokes.
Right, not a joke that actually adds to the context of the conversation, one that's just there to, we need a laughter break. It's like the commercial intermission
Yeah.
of the conversation.
'Cause that might show like an emotional imbalance. And also, I don't want to overdo this one, all right? Like, put the grain of salt all over this motherfucker. Pour the whole thing on it, all right? With the little kid with the yellow skirt and the umbrella. Put the whole skirt and umbrella on it, all right?
Get the Mortons.
But like that intellect, remember, intellectual and intelligent are two different things.
Yeah.
All right? Zebras and elephants are intelligent. Clearly, they're not intellectual.
Yeah,
Whales might be intellectual. We just don't know their language.
maybe.
Right? Dolphins and whales, because they're mammals. I don't fucking know. But fucking, because that intellect, if he's failing there, he's probably not very intelligent. And you're going to end up in a relationship with someone that makes a lot of bad decisions.
There's that, but as you were saying it, I was actually thinking about like academics and stuff, because there's a lot of people who have degrees and have good jobs who are dumb as bricks. Like, you cannot hold a conversation with them.
Yep. That shit.
So many people.
As a contract worker, my job is to fucking trick stupid rich white people. Stupid rich educated white people. I make them think that what I do is worth way more than it is. I'm telling you, inflated value of service like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like what, Jordan Peterson, right? Because he's been all over my Twitter newsfeed. I know you're not a Twitter person, but he is a top 10 contender for goofiest tweets of the year so far.
Well, yeah, he's like milking penises or something now.
Yeah, so someone showed a picture from like a porn movie with milking a penis, and he thought it was like real, and said it was China is creating a 3-child policy, like making them have more children, and he thought it was real and retweeted. He's like, this is the CCP or whatever. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? But stuff like that. But he has a degree. He has a PhD. He's stupid as hell, but he has a PhD.
Isn't he like a psychologist?
Yeah.
He is here to help you think better.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so like, yeah, that I think that is like a valid distinction, that just because someone has an advanced degree or they do have a certain job, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good conversationalist or that they have interesting ideas. You know, because that was the thing for me. If someone did hit on me, the only people I would respond to were people that I would meet in like libraries and bookstores and museums. Don't talk to me when I'm at a club. Like, this is not the spot.
Yeah. This is where I'm here to drink overpriced, watered down alcohol and pretend I like this song. Damn it, at least that is my negative perception of clubs.
Pretend I like this song. Okay, back when I was at club age, we actually had good music. Okay, so first of all, but no, seriously though, I think that is a big thing, is that there's this whole people aren't thinking about long term, what makes me happy, what conversations do I want to have. You know, where are you at with things? And, we see a lot of it with, especially with those, like, what is it? Like, am I the asshole, or the relationship advice and stuff, where you have these people in relationships, like, we've been together for 2 years, and then out of nowhere, he just said this goofy manosphere shit. What do I do? And it's like, did you ask him how he feels about the manosphere 2 years ago? Has he been sliding into this? Like, this has been a progression for 2 years, but y'all don't talk about this type of stuff because you don't talk about social issues? You know, so yeah, you have to know what's going on internally with someone else for sure.
Yeah. And I don't recommend men that are kind of defined by their boys.
Oof.
All right? Like, oh, God. If they say shit like pause and no homo, they're defined by their boys.
This is what we're going to have to do, is just make a list of, like, red flags and be very specific about what they are. Because, yeah.
All right, yeah, right. We are way off of, like, I'm pretty sure this isn't even her topic.
It's so many men out here lying about being in relationships and living with women that one of the first things you need to be doing if you're talking to a dude is FaceTime him and make him show you his headboard in the room that he sleeps in.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that also bugs me. It's like, if you're meeting someone that you think you have to, like, run scams and schemes and get into little plots about to find out if they're tricking you, go do something else with your fucking life.
But also, like, I mean, I guess this is good advice if you think that's actually happening. But I would be more concerned about how do I prevent myself from getting into a situation where I need this advice. Like, this is advice that's like 2 steps too late. Had I been 2 steps ahead, I could have avoided it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's not wrong, but preventative. What is it? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yeah, right. As a person that has never broken a bone, let me tell you something. I reject the fuck around option most times.
Whatever he sleeps, make him show you their headboard on FaceTime. Because it's almost a guarantee the majority of these men gonna show you some upholstered, rhinestoned out headboard that belongs to the woman that he living with, right? And even if...
Oh, yeah, she's gonna go sliding into some gender roles here, buddy.
Let's go.
All right, let's do this. I mean, you hear her accent. I know that accent isn't gonna dictate theology. Yeah, but, you know.
Influence. Likely influence.
It's a hat. It's like, maybe they're a Packers fan. They're wearing the hat. I don't know. It's worth asking.
It's worth asking.
Right. I wear a hat that says the word Seattle on it. I came up in Pierce County, but hey, the hat makes it worth asking. You're from Washington? Yes, I am.
If he don't live with her, it's still her headboard that's on that bed, which means that they 50-50 in rent or whatever they doing, but he lives with her.
That seems to be a big thing in the nigga sphere, is discussing 50-50 versus man pays all the bills.
Yeah.
And I mean specifically the nigga sphere, right? Like, and I should probably find a way to better define that. That's my own vernacular that I made up for myself.
For the black manosphere shit? Oh, no, nigga shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I think that's accurate.
Because the nigga sphere, like, that involves niggas that are hoteps, niggas that are Hebrew Israelites, some, not all, black feminists, a fake wannabe black feminist. Like,
honestly, I would say it's really the closest thing to a black community, except almost everyone in it is slightly conservative, if not full-on conservative.
That tends to be, yeah, because, like, when you start getting into black people that are, like, really liberal as shit to where, like, and I say where you have hard lines, like, I'm still forever very staunchly against homophobic jokes about conservatives I don't like, right? I'm staunchly against misgendering Lindsey Graham, or like, I understand he has mannerisms and a tonal inflection that imply, but I will not call him gay. I'm not doing that shit.
Well,
hard lines.
Yeah.
What up?
I don't have a hard line on Lindsey Graham.
Right, see?
But the only reason I don't is because I've been in rooms where sex workers are like, yeah, I know him.
Okay.
That's the only reason why for me, because I was in that room when that conversation happened.
Okay, if this was No Jumper, we'd have to ask you to interview them. Let's bring them on.
You can't. They have signed NDAs, actually. He makes you sign NDAs, yeah.
Okay, party time.
Yeah.
All right, Wayne's World, excellent. All right, but because I don't have confirmation.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I value that degree of responsibility. It was like some folks that I interact with, because like we've been saying on this program since 2017 that a lot of black feminists are quite conservative.
Yeah.
And like one of them, they were riffing about Chris Rock and the what we just talked about in a previous video about Chris Rock and the don't fight in front of white people thing.
Right.
And they were like, what? And their thing was, what does he mean by that? And by the time I saw it in my news feed, it already had like over 100 comments, bunch of comments. And my comment was just, we don't actually know. Chris Rock is one black man from one state, one county, one city, one neighborhood, one household. We are all hundreds, thousands, millions of other black people from different situations, and we're not all gonna read it the same way. The best way is to get him to say it. And their response to me was, because it's not fun. Niggosphere is about dumb gossip and fun.
It is definitely about gossip, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, Dana Dane.
On that bed, which means that they 50-50 in rent or whatever they doing, but he lives with a woman, right? Now, we can start getting into cars, because I believe if a man pull up in an Altima, go ahead and shut it down right then and there.
All right.
See, See, she was like, I wasn't like,
Just conservative.
yes. Because, see, the first thing she said, I was like, okay, I mean, I get what you're saying. You're not wrong, but, you know, there's better ways. And now it took the turn. It always takes the turn.
Yep, that country bumpkin southern conservative like that. Let's just call it what cornbread conservatives. Call them what the fuck they are. And I hear niggas that I agree with, like in the black left cornbread tube or whatever we are now, like that they really hate that. Of just being like, no, a lot of black people are really conservative. Yes, the fuck they are. I understand that you want to make an academic way around it, which I kind of don't respect that because it looks like just a business model of playing contrarian to something. And it's like, you're not presenting a real serious argument. Because this nigga right here is fucking conservative.
Yeah, I think people are still stuck on the whole concept of electoral politics when we talk about conservatism, though. And, like, that's where a lot of the problem comes from. Because everyone's like, well, you're only conservative if you're a Republican, right? That's where conservatives are. Like, no, you can have conservative ideals personally without being a registered Republican or voting for Republicans.
Yeah. And the highest quality argument that I see against, like, what I just said, because I actually do seek out arguments against myself, and somebody said, who the fuck was it? One of them cornbread tube niggas, and they were like, black people are survivalists because of our condition, and so I could see that argument, because I've presented it in a story myself, where, like, there is a degree, not all of it, I don't even think a high percentage to make it that relevant, but I've experienced it of black people that are a big part of their homophobia ain't coming from Jesus. It's coming from the logical assumption that you, black boy, will be in jail or prison one day, and I want you tough and not getting raped in there. Right? And like, as I just said, like, niggas like it with the no jumper and shows like Back on Fig, and they like to say pause every time something sounds gay, dude.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's because you always want to make sure everyone knows you're super not gay, because these are all a bunch of niggas that have been in county and some have been in prison and they could go back.
Yeah.
And like, niggas in prison have contraband. They're watching these shows. And, you know, there's going to be that one stupid nigga in the pen. And when you end up back in there for whatever reason, false or legitimate, they're going to be like, what that shit you said about John Leguizamo, homie? You know?
Right. Right.
And like, so there's a degree of survival instinct there. And that's the best argument I've seen.
I mean, yeah, I think that that's definitely a thing. I don't think that's everyone's reason for doing it, but yeah. Because I don't think, like, with, like, the black liberals, I don't think black liberals are homophobic for that reason. I think that's hood niggas are well, I mean, not the only reason, but for that argument, I'm like, okay, if I was a hood nigga, I could see that argument having merit, but, like, black liberals, they're not fucking scared of that shit. They're not fucking scared of their kids going to prison.
Yeah.
But yet they're still homophobic.
They're just scared of police brutality in general.
Right.
Right, at the street level, but not actually handcuffing and booking.
Yeah, because they're like, well, even if I get arrested, even if I get beaten, like, I have enough connections to get out of it.
And to that degree, like, I end up relating to the black liberal. Like, I'm not worried about actually ending up in the state or federal penitentiary, but, like, you're arrested and booked on some goofy bullshit. I think about that every damn day. A great deal of the day. Like, I just see a white person, I'm like, I hope you're not the reason I get arrested and booked today, you fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, and I think that, like, with the whole conservatism thing, that we don't talk about the ways black people are conservative in general, but it's what I dislike about the argument you were making about, like, fears of prison rape is that it is conflating basically bougie black people with hood black people.
Yeah.
And that's a problem for me because there is this whole, like, obsession with pretending that there's, like, one black experience. Like you were saying about Chris Rock, that's one guy in one family, yet somehow every black person is supposed to know what he meant, right? And I think that also a big part of that thing is black liberals are a big cause of that because they are the ones who love pretending that all blackness is universal and that they're just as hard as some hood nigga. And, like, y'all ain't hood niggas. Don't play this game, black liberals. Like, but because they want to be the mouthpiece or the spokesperson of blackness, and because they generally have more educational and economic privilege to be in white spaces where they get to be the face of the black experience, we're pretending that they are universally black in every way.
Oh, Mark Lamont Hill.
Right.
I also don't like that argument. and I have a problem with it. Right? Phoenix Leader came out, so I want that clipped in the soundboard. I have a problem with it. Strong.
But that really is that shit, though, right? Because, like, look, I mean, we talk about it all the time, but look at the way, like, black academics talk on, like, Twitter and Facebook and shit. Talking about fucking pull up and clapbacks and shit. What the fuck y'all niggas know about pull up and clapback?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's the last thing y'all want to ever fucking happen in y'all punk ass life.
Yeah, I'm at Stanford and she was in this class and the teacher said some shit and she clapped back. And not in the classroom at Stanford, you didn't.
Right? And it's just like, yo, please. Like, yeah, like black people with class privilege, like, again, there's a cultural appropriation there that ain't being talked about.
Because I believe if a man pull up in an Altima, go ahead and shut it down right then and there. That's his girlfriend's car. That's his baby mama's car. That's a woman's car. That's not his car. That's
All right? For
Fellas,
some
is it gay to have a car?
a Nissan Altima, which is, isn't that like a relatively large sedan?
It's a sedan, yeah.
Family-sized sedan?
Yeah.
And wait a second. Oh, man. Hold on. Chris Rock is a masculine, manly man, right?
So I've been told.
From Brooklyn.
He
Mother
is,
and
yeah.
father household.
Yeah.
Blue-collar dad.
Yeah.
Did his fucking job.
Yeah.
At Chris Rock's manicured level, has done his fucking job for 3 decades. I remember, you know how like MTV or BET, like as they were transitioning from more music videos into like more shows and mini docs and shit, it was one about like Chris Rock, like leading up to a new special or something. It was like 1999, 2000. Maybe, yeah, it was definitely before 2001. And Chris Rock was talking about how Jay-Z has this car and I have a Nissan Altima. I'm pretty sure he said now Altima. And fucking, and this was his joke. He was like, yeah, but I got another $100,000 in my pocket. You know, but fucking, yeah. So again, these concepts.
Yeah, these concepts and these just weirdo ass gender role like stereotypes. Because no, if it's if this is the situation and he is cheating and it's his wife's car or his girlfriend's car or whatever, then that's her car. But the fact that he's in a Nissan Altima does not really indicate anything. And that's a very bizarre sort of, I don't know. Yeah.
It's an alternative fact.
Ugh.
It's not his car. It's almost a guarantee there's another woman in the picture. Pay attention to that car. Pay attention to that headboard. Make them FaceTime you.
Or don't get... No. Yeah, we said that before. Preventative measures, right? This is the advice you get after you fucked up.
Yeah.
Or also, again, if you have suspicions, disengage.
Also that.
Yeah, just your final contact, be like, you know what? There is no future for us beyond me telling you that there is no future for us. Click, block, contact severed. Right?
And
done.
Honestly, what bothers me about this sort of advice, if you will, is that it only leads to deterioration in relationships later. Because if you dead ass think you can tell if someone's cheating by the type, the make and model of their car, what other thoughts do you have? Like, how many times is he gonna come home late from being with the boys before you think he's cheating? How many times, like, if he puts on lotion, is it because he's trying to look pretty for, you know, one of these other bitches, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at what point does that level of paranoia stop? Because you're straight up saying you can tell he's cheating by the make and model of his, not his behavior, not his words, not his actions, his car. So what else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Like,
car.
if he uses cocoa butter, is he cheating? If he starts working out, is he cheating? If he starts eating broccoli, is he cheating? You know what I mean? And like, now you're just stuck in this shitty paranoid relationship where you constantly think he's cheating on you. And now it's like, you've robbed yourself of having joy in your own relationship? For what?
I don't have an answer.
If you're gonna be that, yeah, if you're gonna be that fucking paranoid, that, yeah.
That fucking paranoid, but yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it.